Still you stay on mandolin string?
No. I got that Spence Music Company and then the guy talked me into buying
Custom string?
custom for he gave me 2 sets for $4.20. 2 sets for the price of 1. I
heard about that. He was giving one for you bought one, he gave got one.
I don't think I like it. I'll probably get some other kind. I don't know.
What do you need, Rob?
Yeah.
I've got some if you need it.
Yeah, I need some more.
You got your chin rest over?
Yeah, I took it over there. I need to put it back on. I don't care much about them anyway. Well, what do we play first?
Well, I don't know. Started a song, Birds, the other day. Did you hear that, Rob? You know something about birds? He's kind of carding his C there, like he might be going to take off something in C.
Well, that's right backwards, isn't it? Yeah. Knockin at the door.
All right. There's words to that. Jude sang them for me there. Verse of
Trouble probably all this in my way I use it. Like you.
Start the tape back over. Go again.
Did you know that the Wagoner, the Tennessee Wagoner, and Knockin at the door is played second exactly the same?
I think it is exactly
It's
right.
just exactly because I was playing that where we played it over there, night you guys were at my house. And I was playing it back on my amplifier on the tape.
Yeah, it is.
And when it come to the Knockin at the door, I played the Wagoner, following it all. I played the Wagoner exactly.
That's what I said, when he played Knock on the Door a while ago, I said that Wagoner. What did I get the two mixed up? Tell you two others I get mixed up is I Don't Love Nobody and East Tennessee Blues for some reason. I get those two mixed up.
I could play the Wagoner and let him play Knockin at the door, and you could second after both of them.
I just thought of that. Let's try that a little while and see. I'd be interested. Kind of like a little row your boat in a way,
Well,
I bet that sound. Let's do that little.
my old lady said it sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's not when I played it.
Well, you don't know what'll come out of all that, see? Let's go run the light and see. Yeah. Old Jude played that old fiddle he has, and he said that the strings were 70-something years old on that fiddle he's using down there. Oh yeah. And he won't wash it, he won't clean it, won't do anything to it. He made it there. Yeah, he can hear where he is, you know. And he tries so hard, that's what makes him feel.
He puts his fiddle against his breast bone.
Oh yeah, and he's a belly player, he said. That's what he told me, he said I'm a belly player.
Puts his fiddle there and it'll slip off.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think so. Oh, I tell you, he's something else. I really like it. Oh, I know the Mandolin, he has something else. That old flew down there somehow, I don't think, just because they're so happy to have people down there, I can tell you.
Play Robert E. Lee when you get to going. Is that in C?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Yeah. Waiting for the Robert E. Lee.
Waiting for the Robert E. Lee. catch on for a long time and you change to F. That's a good key. But I don't know how to second it really.
Well, I don't know.
You show us one. That one part, you're up to, then back down to E, then you go back to F. Then you go to D, then you go to G, I think. But I'm not hitting it in there right.
Or maybe you don't go to that F and you go to A, D, G.
I think it is.
I'm trying to do that.
Again, try it again. A, maybe.
Either that or you go back through the D and G right quick.
That may be it.
That's do.
And skip the A.
Maybe. Anyway, that's a good key.
Now, East Tennessee Blues kind of goes with that. What's that? You can see, yeah, see all.
Is that it?
Yeah. What is that song?
That's Dixie Darling.
That's Dixie Darling.
Yeah. But you're hitting he's hitting a flat or something in there. No, on purpose. I mean, it's part of the song. Where he's hitting that. And we're on a straight. No, we should be on some. I don't know what it'd be, but it'd be kind of like this thing that you hit. Yeah. And then when you hit up here, that kind of it'd be that type of thing.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know, but I mean, there is something there. Man, why don't you learn what all these things are? So you can tell us.
I don't care what it I don't seem to care.
That's our stuff like that. We'll have to figure those things out. Like old Sam Weatherman told this guy, Lucille Anderson told me one time Sam Weatherman got up to play and he didn't have anybody second, so some guy got up there to second him. And he said, now Mr. Weatherman, what key are you going to play in? He said, young man, it don't make a damn what key I'm in, you just stay with me. And he said, away he went. You know, boy, that kid had to hang in there. I guess he must have been some fiddler. Did you ever know him, Raymond?
No.
Jude said he was one of the best, and even Adams remembers him too. He was known all over that area down there. He must have been one of the outstanding.
I knew of him. Heard a lot about him.
I have too. I know he had a bunged up hand, and he had to play in B and E flat most times. It was simply because he couldn't get something else.
He had a boy. Now name.
Hope.
Who was it?
No,
Hobart, wasn't it Hobart?
Oh, Keats. Keats was his boy too, wasn't
The
it?
boy that played the fiddle starts with an H. I think it was.
Oh,
Hobart.
Hope
was it?
Yeah, Hope was his boy.
Oh, yeah,
And then he had
that's right.
another boy named Keats that was blind. Remember? You remember Keats?
no.
Big old fellow that couldn't see, but he's a musician.
I played with Hope, but I never did hear his dad.
And
He died a long time ago.
there's a story, I remember him, I haven't seen him. But I remember Fiddler's Contest, I wasn't there, but this is a hearsay story. At the YMCA downtown. And Judge Kirby, old Judge Kirby,
Yeah.
was one of the judges. And they had several other prizes, door prizes.